Hello, welcome to another edition of Uncle Kenny's online class. Today I will be talking about the allotropes of carbon. The last week we talked about the diamond, where we said diamond is a non-conductor of heat and electricity. Diamond is octahedral in shape. Diamond is crystalline and also known to be the hardest known substance in the world. Diamond is chemically inert. It simply means diamond do not undergo chemical reaction. And we also said diamond has a density of 3.5 grams per cm cube. Today I'm going to be giving you a brief explanation of what graphite is. Remember, we talked about the two major allotropes of carbon, which are the crystalline allotropes of carbon and the amorphous allotropes of carbon. Then under the crystalline allotropes of carbon, we talked about diamond, graphite, and the following. Today is specifically prepared to talk about graphite. Now, what would you say graphite is? Graphite is just a crystalline allotrope of carbon, a crystalline allotrope of carbon. And now we are going to be talking about some of the properties of graphite. However, when we want to consider the properties of diamond and graphite, some important points needs to be noted. Why? Because these substances that we are dealing with right now, in the case of diamond and graphite, and also they are crystalline allotropes of carbon, but there are some variations between diamond and graphite. Now we're going to talk about the properties of graphite. Number one, graphite is a good conductor of heat and electricity. What do we mean by that? It simply means in graphite there is a free mobile electron that makes it to conduct electricity. Let's take, for instance, remember in our previous class we said a good conductor is a material that conducts electricity, and for a material to conduct electricity it must have a mobile electrons moving from one part to another in that substance. Now we said graphite is a good conductor of electricity. It simply means it has a free mobile electron. How? Now let me give you an explanation of what makes graphite a good conductor of electricity. Now here on the board we have the four valence electrons of graphite. In these four valence electrons of graphite, the three of them are involved in bonding, in bond formation. Why this one is free to move about? This makes graphite a good conductor of electricity. Second, graphite is soft, flaky, and slippery. It means it can slide easily over one atom to the other. Why is it that way? Now I'm going to explain that for you. Now watch me. These are carbon atoms. Now in between these carbon atoms there is a bond, but a very weak bond that connects this carbon from the other carbon. So these are weak bonds. Now what is the name of this bond? It is called van der Waals forces. So yes, we have the carbon are connected to one another. There's a covalent bond majorly in the case of diamond and diamond and graphite, but the carbon atoms in graphite, what makes them to slide over each other is because the bond connecting them, you can see how weak they are. It enables this carbon to slide over one another, which makes graphite a good lubricating substance. That's why graphite can be used as a lubricant. Number three, graphite has a density of 2.3 grams per cm cube. That simply means it is less dense than diamond. And also graphite is hexagonal in shape. What do we mean by hexagonal in shape? Now let me give you a simple way to memorize this. Remember we said three out of the 4 valence electrons, 3 are involved in bond formation. So let's talk about how they are going to be bonded to one another. Now, here's the first 3 valence electron of this carbon atom. Here's the second 3 valence electron of this carbon atom. Now 3 of them combine together to form a bond. Now how many electrons are we going to be counting together as a shared pair of electrons? Now we're going to be counting the total electrons involved here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you remember 6 is known as hexagonal. So that's why we say 6 is hexa, beg your pardon. Then that's why we say the 6 electrons that comes together from carbon atoms to join to form a bond, they create a kind of shape in graphite, not in diamond. They create a kind of shape which is known as hexagonal shape. Also, graphite is reactive. Unlike that of diamond, graphite is chemically active. Now these are the properties of graphite that I want you to put in your head. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs